Whoa! It's the illusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. Beautiful Saturday, Southern California, super in the now. Yeah, pretty fired up about that. All right, so this cat wanted me to throw down some advice. He just broke up with his girlfriend, and he thinks he wants to get back together with her again. Dicey situation. All right, I kind of talked about this in Smell the Leather a little bit, but that was about a guy experiencing his parents getting divorced. So this is sort of the other end of it all. And I was watching a Michael Tessarian video. If you haven't checked out Michael Tessarian, man, just type him into YouTube. Some really good data going on with that guy. And all of a sudden it clicked what it was. And he was talking about balance. And if things aren't in balance, the earth will naturally destroy it, or source energy will, or it just won't work. It'll go into a state of entropy. It'll just break apart. And and it dawned on me that's sort of what relationships are like. They won't last if they're not balanced. If your relationship isn't balanced, it's doomed for failure. And that's sort of why getting back together with someone you broke up with probably isn't the wisest idea till you figured out why your relationship was out of balance. I know for myself, I had a relationship with a gal for 10 years almost. Failure. And you know why? Because I was a jerk and we were totally out of balance, and that out of balance just became so painful there was no actual way to reattain balance, if you know what I mean. And after that whole experience, I felt pretty guilty for a long time because she's a pretty cool girl, and I picked a lot of really bad girls after that. The hairdresser, the 12, the hand grenade, and they all proceeded to absolutely crush me and destroy me, break my heart. And it took a long time to figure out exactly what that was all about. And it wasn't until I became balanced within myself that I began to realize that I'll pick the worst girl ever for me because I've got a broken picker. You see, this is the situation. If I was if there was a room with 10 identical women, like identical, man, almost like clones, right? I will still pick the sickest one in the bunch, who will destroy me. This isn't anymore. This was up until recently. Because I have a broken picker, I'm able to pick the perfectly wrong girl for me. And it's been proven to me over and over and over again. That was the funny thing when I realized that I had been dating the same woman just in a different spacesuit repeatedly. That's a whole other story. But the hot part is it taught me to be at ease with myself. And it took a long time. So to you, bro, who's breaking up, maybe it's time to get down with yourself for a bit. Take a little personal time just to get to know yourself and find out what makes you tick before you go bring another person into your life. I really think that's the key, because as I've read a lot and I've talked a lot with my spiritual advisor and I've examined my own failures in the department of relationships, I realized that I'll pick someone that's either way elevated above me or way below me, but I have yet to pick someone who's on the same wavelength as me. And that is why my relationships have been totally out of balance, and they have been doomed to failure, because there isn't an equal exchange of energy. I'm either taxing energy from the one who's not as evolved as I am spiritually, or the one who's more evolved than me spiritually is taxing my energy. So at some point, one of us is going to go dry of energy, and once you start to have all your positive energy taken from you, all you start to generate is negative energy. And when you generate negative energy, boom, you're in conflict, right? And you're in conflict because you don't want to be in a state of negative energy. You want to be in a state of grace and love and high frequency and positivity. And whoa. So getting back to the whole thing about getting back together and the whole deal, I mean, I'm sort of under the whole premise that that's doomed to failure, because whatever blew your relationship apart is still there till you go and figure out why you're out of balance. But see, you can figure out why you're out of balance and discover what's wrong with you and what threw you out of sync in the relationship. But if the other person isn't doing the same internal work, it's doomed for failure again, because the reason you were out of balance was that both of you weren't symbiotic, man. And that's really the thing with the deal, is if one person is more spiritually fit than the other person, it's not going to work. And hey, sometimes it's good to just hook up and bang together for a while, man, because sometimes relationships are just strictly carnal and strictly in the moment, two ships passing in the night type of thing. I think that's pretty profound, and it serves its own purpose, but it's got to be a mutual thing. So this cat who had this girlfriend for 4.5 years, you have to do a big examination of who you are, and what you're lacking in this deal and what she's lacking in the deal, and maybe just take some time to really get to know yourself. And when you've been with someone for 4.5 years, you have to just take the period of heartbreak and smell the leather, dude, because it's just the fist breaking your nose, man. And you just got to stop, get in the now, and smell the leather, and watch the Smell the Leather video for more about that. But also, you really have to just give yourself some time to know who you are after the period of pain is over, when the doubt and where you're just like, okay, you know what? I'm a single guy, but now who am I? And take that time to figure out who you are. And once you figure out who you are, you'll realize that you don't have to have a significant other in your life to fully function. It's a bonus. It's a blessing. Like when the perfect girl rolls into the illusion's life, man, it's going to be magical. I'm pretty psyched about this whole thing when it happens, but it would be happening right now if it was meant to be, and it's not, because I'm not done fully exploring who I am as an individual, because I have to know what I can bring to the table and what I have to fully love myself before I can fully love another person. And I'm pretty right there, pretty fired up about it. I'm pretty at ease in my own skin. So that's kind of my thinking about the relationship and what's going on. And I snagged a little of that information from pretty much every other source that I've experienced in my life, because it's not something that we figure out really easily on Spaceship Earth. It's really a giant learning curve. And at 43, I think I might be ready to find the right girl. This is The Illusion. Hoping your day is high frequency. Much love out to the East Coast, man. Peace.